Okay, folks, it's story time now. Let's see if I can remember this. This happened to me in another dimension, and I wrote about it. I can't remember if it's in The Return of the Emissary Craft, or Earth A, Earth B, or Aircraft One. It's in one of those books anyway. So, anyway, I go through this portal, and I end up in Geneva in the year 2050, and I go in this bike shop, and this guy fixed my bike up with all his electromagnetics and wings and everything, and this language translator. And then I have to go and find these Yetis in Yetiville, in up in the mountains, in some valley like in the Alps. And so I fly on this bike because this is 2050 and bikes fly. This bike has got all this kitted out with all wings and everything and electromagnetics and it flies. So I take off and I fly over these mountains and I end up in this valley, and because this language translator I've got, it's got a sensor on it and it can pick up body heat. And these Yetis are clever. They can camouflage themselves, they can stand there in the bush and they just disappear, they're like chameleons. They blend in with the trees and the snow and everything. So I see these two little Yeti cubs and they're throwing snowballs at each other and they're playing in the snow by this river. And so I'm flying down and I can see them in the distance, and my scanner is picking up their body heat and everything. And they see me, so they go and run in the bushes and they hide and they camouflage themselves, but I can still pick them up with the sensor, So I land about 20 feet away from them, 10 feet away from them, and these two little Yeti cubs, they're scared shitless, you know what I mean? They're terrified, because humans freak them out, they live separate to humans and they don't like to go near humans. So, what happens next? Oh yeah, I call out to them and say, "Hey, little Yetis, come out, wherever you are, I can see you, come out from hiding," something like that. And so I park my bike, I land and I park my bike, and I start walking over to them. And they take off, they just start running, they're freaked out. So I chase them, and I chase them all through these bushes and everything, and it's snow, and it's like this, it's kind of, there's snow on the ground, but there's more snow than this, but it's kind of like this. There's still dry wood about and stuff like that. You can see some of these twigs are dry and whatever. So I chase them, for like miles, through this, and I've got all this futuristic outfit on and everything, and this scanner translator, and what happens now? Yeah, that's right. I come to a clearing or something like that. And they're sitting there, and I go walking up to them, or I come running up to them or something, and then I get caught up in this bag, this kind of trap, this primitive rope bag, snare trap. So I'm dangling there in this trap, and I drop my translator on the floor, and these two little Yeti cubs, they're playing with it, and they're talking into it, and it's talking back to them in cat language, because this translator, it's got all different languages. It's got bird language, cat language, it's got all multiverse languages from different planets and different animals and everything. So these two little Yeti cubs, they're talking into this, they're making this noise, and they're talking into it, and they're pressing the button, and it's talking back to them in cat. It's going meow, meow, and they're laughing to each other, and I'm hanging there in this frigging rope sack, and I say, "Look, can you let me down now, and please, take care of this, don't mess my translator up. I need that because I need to talk to your chief." And they look up at me, they don't understand what I'm going on about, so they just carry on, playing with this language translator and scanner, and I got a laser cutter in my pocket, because I got, it's 2050. I've got all kind of sophisticated, futuristic gadgets. So I get this laser cutter out of my pocket and I cut through the ropes sack, and I fall on my butt from about 10 feet, and it hurts, and lucky I land on my butt, but it still hurts. And of course they take off, they run, and they drop the thing on the floor. And as I look up, I see these two big furry legs in front of me, and I don't even look up to see what above the legs, what it looks like. I just do like a jiu-jitsu roll, and I roll over, grab this translator, and I run for my life. And then I start talking to this translator, trying to say, "I come in peace, I'm your friend, I want to speak to your chief." But because they messed about with it, the language translator is saying, "I want to have sex with your mother and your sister." And of course, this big Yeti is not happy with that. He turns around and he says, "My mother and my sister? You two cubs, go get every able-bodied Yeti in the village. We're eating human tonight." So, that's it. I just take off. I'm running through the bushes, and this big Yeti's chasing me, and I hear that there's more Yetis coming from the forest. It's terrible. I'm running through the forest, and I fall in a river just like that. There's a river down there. And it's freezing, you know what I mean? It's really freezing, like this. Anyway, luckily I swim down the river a little bit. It's not really rapid, but, it's rough, kind of white water. And I managed to get out of the river. I'm freezing, I'm close to death, you know what I mean? Frozen, whatever. So I just look about for bits of wood and everything, and I managed to make a fire. It takes me a while, but I managed to make one. Luckily with this laser cutter and everything. And so I managed to get warm, and I sleep by the fire. And I have this dream, and in my dream, this is a real trip. In my dream, I'm sitting around this big campfire with all these Yeti chiefs, the chief and all these Yeti elders. And they say to me, "What brings you to our land? It's forbidden for humans. You should know that. What are you doing in our land?" And funny enough, in the dream, I say to them, "I know it's forbidden, I know, but I don't work for the UN, I work outside all of that. And I'm here to speak to your chief, and I'm searching for the portal. There's a special portal that they know about." And the Yeti chief, he nods to me, like that. They speak in English, telepathy or whatever. So I wake up out of the dream. And then I wake up shortly after that, and it's sunrise, the sun's rising. I get up, and I get my stuff together, and my clothes are dry because it's been laying out by the fire and everything. And I take off, and my scanner's working. I manage to track the bike where it is, back through the woods to where the bike is. And as I get on my bike, I remember this. Just before the bike, in the snow, there's like an arrow. And it's just like something like this. There's like a twig pointing that way. I don't know if you can see this. I'll try and make it look authentic. Okay, there's a long one, and then there's two little bits, but it's definitely an arrow. You can't see that very good. Oh yeah, you can see it. And it's an arrow, and it's right in front of the bike. And it's pointing in the direction of a couple of mountain peaks, like up in the distance. It's pointing in the direction of a couple of mountain peaks. So I get on my bike, and telepathically I say, "Thank you, Yetis." I take off in the bike, and I fly up to the mountains, the portal. And after that, I appear on the bridge of the Aircraft 1, I think. Anyway, read the book. It's in more detail, and you'll get it's kind of written better. I'm just going from memory, how I remember it, but in the book it's kind of more detailed, and it's quite funny. It's in Aircraft 1, or it's in Return of the Emissary Craft, or it's in Earth A, Earth B, one of those books. End of story.